as well. Welcome in, everyone. We're going to get started in just a second. I know I sent the email out probably, I want to say maybe 20 minutes ago for me going live, and I completely forgot I sent the email and then walked away from my computer. Okay, it was a little less than 20 minutes ago, but still, it was a little minute ago that I sent out my email. So if you were on the email list and you're like, this girl said she was live now and she didn't go live for another 15, 20 minutes, my bad. I'm here now. Hello, welcome in. We're going to get started today talking about the hormonal chaos that we are going through and talking about the rebalancing and getting our feminine essence back from a space of knowing the emotional and spiritual impact of not using food as our medicine, using terrible toxic products, not syncing with our cycle, and understanding how these processed foods, our dairy, our meat, all of these different things are causing a block in our healing and our health. And since these are being made normal, these are normalized habits, we are bloated, we're moody, we're tired, we're dealing with PMS, we're dealing with the issues of a dreadful menstrual cycle that feels like a punishment rather than something that is a sign to let us know that we are healthy and that we are okay. And since we don't listen to our body's message of what our cycle should be like and how our cycle has been impacted through the month of the habits that we have. We deal with our symptoms through managing, with prescriptions, with surgeries, with us thinking that there's something wrong with our body. So let me go take a pain pill so that I can make it till tomorrow. And we feel like it's a curse, but our body is not cursed. In reality, our body is out of alignment because we are not syncing with our cycle. We're not aligning with our feminine essence. We're not understanding how different phases of your cycle need different foods. Our body needs certain things during certain phases. Our body fluctuates, it elevates, and there's nothing wrong with us. It's just the fact that we are programmed into ignoring these signs and these symptoms. And then when we have them, we put them in the category of, oh, I'm PMSing. This is just a part of being a woman. And these things not only are keeping us stuck in this system that is poisoning us, but it's not supporting our body and being nourished, but it's making us feel numb. It's making us shrink ourselves and feel out of sync instead of actually syncing with our body and knowing what these signs mean and recognizing when our body has been thrown off so that we can get back to the space of healing. But when you have never been healthy and you've never been healing, you can never get back to the space of feeling good and healing because you don't even know what that feels like. You're grasping at straws, but you've never actually felt a straw of what the straw feels like. This is literally like telling somebody to go hand me this gadget and they don't know what the gadget is. You have to be descriptive. You have to start getting the knowledge of it. You have to dive deeper into it so that you know every aspect of what the tool does, how it supports you, and how it's going to help aid you into what you're needing. This is the same thing you need to apply to your body when it comes to healing. The foods that you eat is medicine. How is food medicine? What does food do to you to cause you to become inflamed? What does food do to you to help you be able to be balanced? How does it support your hormones? These are questions that you not only should have the answers to, but if you don't have answers to, why? You should be questioning, why do I not know these things? How am I 20 plus years old? How am I 30, 40, and not know that I should be syncing with my cycle? How am I 40 plus years old, 50 plus years old, and feel like my hormones have been off since I started my cycle? And now I'm confused of why when I'm going through menopause that I'm suffering the way that I am. These are questions that not only should you be asking yourself, but you should also be getting rid of because these are old habits that are not working for you. When you feel disconnected, when you feel out of sync, when you are feeling overwhelmed, this is not a time for you to sit back and be like, well, you know what? This is just a part of being a woman. I'm going to take a prescription. I'm going to go emotionally eat and I should be fine tomorrow, right? Because when you do these things and people don't realize what you're doing when you are putting this emotional trauma on yourself, it's causing you to store this inside, which makes your organs work overtime. It makes you anxious. It makes you depressed. It makes you have panic attacks. It makes you sit there and deal with or think that you have to deal with the fact that this is a part of being a woman because your hormones fluctuate, because you're PMSing. When you are synced with your cycle, I don't know if you realize this because if you've never been synced with your cycle, you don't realize this. You wouldn't be PMSing. PMSing only happens when your body has been thrown off hormonally all month long. And now, when you are in the most hormonally spiked state that you could be in, of trying to start your menstrual cycle, now you're having mood swings. Now you're feeling uncomfortable because this is the time that your body needs to store up nutrients, but it has nothing to store. It has nothing to use to convert into energy. And so we sit back and we're thinking that there is something wrong with our body instead of you realizing that this is a wake up call, because your body is asking for you to stop throwing it off. Stop being dysfunctioning every single day, thinking that you have to wake up and drink coffee in order for you to restore your energy, because you have no energy, because you went to bed with no stabilizers. You don't use any stabilizers when it comes to the foods that you eat and consume every single day, whether it's you breaking your fast or before you go to bed. You don't realize that you shouldn't be sitting here craving sugar right before your cycle. And if you are, this is a sign to let you know you have not been eating the things that you need. And so your insulin has been spiked. And since your insulin has been spiked during your time where you are insulin resistant as a woman, because there is a time period of the month where you are more likely to be insulin resistant than any other time of the month, you spiked your blood sugar all throughout that time. And so now you're in an insulin resistant state going into your menstrual cycle. So what are you doing? You're craving sugar, because your body is already working overtime. So that means your pancreas is trying to compensate to fix the insulin resistance that you are in. And instead of it being able to fix it, it's actually having to sit there and work overtime, which is causing you to have more cravings, because it's working, it's exerting energy, and you didn't have any energy. So now it's trying to replenish. It's trying to build back. But instead of it being built up with the foods that you eat, it's getting broken down more and more each time you feed that craving. More and more each time that you think that you're fasting and you're not setting yourself up the correct way to fast. It's breaking itself down more and more each time that you don't get to the root cause of the issue, but instead using a momentary band-aid to help you manage. Stop putting yourself in this insulin resistant state. How you start helping your body be able to start to balance is syncing with your cycle and understanding your natural rhythm, using whole foods as your medicine. But when you are taking the approach of what everybody else is doing, of just following this systematic oppression, this slave mentality of thinking that if I follow this system that has poisoned me, it's going to work, because they poison you and then sell you the solution. They continuously poison you day in and day out, and you think that they are the solution to your problem. Getting a surgery, taking a medication, your doctor is instead of it being your opposition, the person who is not supporting you, your doctor is your biggest fan. But you don't realize the reason why your doctor is your biggest fan is because you're the best customer. You're the one who doesn't question anything. You're the one that's sitting here shaking your head saying, yes, okay, they told you have a hormonal imbalance. You take your pill, you take your birth control, and you go on about your business and you don't question anything. So yes, of course your doctor is going to be your biggest yes man. But your doctor is never telling you and teaching you how to heal, how to rebalance your hormones. They're just telling you what's wrong and then selling you a solution to the problem that they caused. And then when they cause more problems later on in your life, they're going to slap you with another prescription. Or they're going to tell you now you have to have a surgery. Or worse, now you developed cancer. Now you need chemo and radiation. Or there's nothing we can do for you. We'll just make you comfortable for the time that you're still here. This is the path that you are leading yourself down if you haven't already developed an illness or a disease. When you continuously do the same thing with your hormones being imbalanced, you eating these processed snacks, you sitting here not syncing with your cycle as a woman, energetically not understanding how your feminine essence is being attacked, and you sit here and you think that taking and doing a diet or taking a prescription or a supplement is your answer, don't piss me off, because the answer that you need is a blueprint into healing, not a momentary band-aid in a facade. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for the likes. How you start supporting the system fully is knowing what danger you are in, but you have to get to the root cause of the problem. Step back and realize, okay, I'm sitting here fatigued, and yet I drink coffee and I sleep 8 hours. Why in the world do I have no energy? Oh yeah, because food should be converted into energy. So this means I'm not getting energy from the food that I eat. What foods am I eating that's not giving me energy? You eat meat, you eat dairy, you consume processed snacks. These are the things that they tell you it's okay for you to eat. Processed snacks as long as you limit it. Dairy, you have to have dairy. Meat is safe. You should be eating meat. This is your healthy proteins and your healthy fats according to them, right? But none of you have energy. And to really put it in perspective, you eat all of these things around Thanksgiving, right? Thanksgiving, if you celebrate it, I don't celebrate, but if you celebrate Thanksgiving, you eat these same foods. You eat meat, you eat dairy, and you know that you eat an overload, right? But if you eat those same foods and you don't eat them in an overload, you still have no energy after you eat them. Why? Because these are not stabilizing healthy fats. These are not stabilizing healthy proteins. These are not stabilizing foods that allow you to convert it into energy and to use that energy. But rather, your body is working and using the energy that you get from this food to convert it and to use it to digest. Because that's the difference between using healthy foods to support the body in healing and then using these foods as energy to convert it into digestion. Because that's all you're doing is every single day using the energy that you eat to digest. Because you're overloaded in your gut because your gut pH is off. Parasites are thriving in your body, so they're controlling your cravings. You eat these cravings instead of eating what you need. You overconsume, and then you sit here and you wonder why you're bloated. You sit here and you wonder why you're PMSing. You're sitting here wondering how in the world you developed insulin resistance. This is a hormonally chaotic state. Even if these aren't directly tied to your hormones the way that they teach you, where your hormones are your estrogen, your progesterone, these are all affected. Because when you look at estrogen, your liver is your detoxification, right? And your pancreas is where your insulin is. But when your detoxification is off, you are going to hold an overload of estrogen. And that estrogen is going to be held inside of the pancreas with all of that insulin. What is one of the number one issues that women are dealing with when it comes to cancer? Breast cancer. What causes breast cancer? Hormonal imbalances. What kind of hormonal imbalance causes a block that causes breast cancer? Estrogen dominance. What is the leading cause of you becoming estrogen dominant? You having a hormonal imbalance. What causes hormonal imbalances? You not syncing with your cycle. It's a full circle that they do not paint the picture or make the connection to, but rather they sell you a solution to the problem that they caused. They caused you to be insulin resistant by not teaching you as a woman how to sync with your cycle. They caused insulin resistance by telling you to eat this meat, to eat this inflammatory dairy, to eat these processed snacks. They caused these issues by promoting to you that this is the healthy way for you to live. And then when you finally make the connection and you're finally starting to ask the right questions, they steer you off and tell you, go eat a Beyond Meat, go eat Impossible Meat, go vegan. But you need to eat all the vegan products, because if you don't, guess what? You're not going to be supported if you only eat vegan products from fruits and vegetables, legumes and beans. You're not going to get your B12. You're not going to get enough healthy fats and proteins. That's what they tell you, right? But then you flip the switch and you don't do any of these things that they tell you, and you start healing, and then all of a sudden now you're praised. You did the right thing. You know what the key factor is? Stop listening to them when they tell you this is your solution, but start questioning. Why are they telling me this? Why are they promoting me this? Okay, I got diagnosed. Now what do I do to heal from a natural standpoint? Because the Beyond Meat, the Impossible Meat, the things that they're selling you, these vegan products, are full of inflammatory ingredients. The only reason why the doctor started telling you to start eating vegan is because they came out with more vegan products to poison you with. Because back in the day, this is where all these studies that people love to quote of them telling you, you won't get enough B12. You're going to have to be on supplements for the rest of your life. You're never going to be able to eat enough healthy proteins and healthy fats to sustain you. I have been plant-based for over 4.5 years now. I'm not hungry. I am sustained. I'm not losing weight at a rapid way that it's uncomfortable and it's unhealthy. I'm a healthy weight. I am stabilized. My hormones are balanced. I have none of the issues that I had before when it came to my health. And I had developed asthma in high school. Nobody in my family has asthma. I was sitting there dealing with estrogen dominance. All of the women in my family have painful menstrual cycles. I'm sitting here dealing with the issue of knee pain at a very, very young age, to the point where I had to wear 2 knee braces to do any physical activity. I don't wear knee braces anymore. I don't have an inhaler, nor have I had an inhaler in over 4 years. I don't have any issues. I can run. I was never able to run without a knee brace, let alone to be able to breathe and run. I can run now. And that's all because I lowered my inflammation and I balanced my hormones. And how you do this is stop believing and thinking that what you're doing right now is working. Because that's what people love to come and say. Well, everybody's body is different. You can eat meat and you can still be healthy. Show me. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, right? You're eating meat, you're working out, you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're being active. Why is it not working? Why are your hormones still imbalanced? Because the same women that are talking about how everybody's body is different are the same ones that are arguing with me about eating a fruit or a vegetable. I'm not saying our bodies aren't everybody's bodies aren't different. Yes, there are aspects of your body that are going to be different from somebody else. But the thing that we all have in common, this thing that is the same, is the fact that we are supposed to be eating fruits. We're supposed to be eating vegetables. You need legumes. You need beans. These are healthy, nutritional foods that help you flush, that help you reset, that come from the earth for a reason. There is a reason that the earth produces vegetation. So when you're sitting here and you're thinking that the danger is in eating a plant-based meal rather than the danger is on your plate of what you're eating right now, when it's a dead carcass there, when there's inflammatory dairy on your plate, you have been misled, and you are not ready to sit here and get out of the programming of the myths that you have been taught. You need to gain balance through natural habits. Balance comes from you using food as your medicine and understanding how powerful food is. Because we are taught to consume, and that's the issue. We are taught to be consumers. We are not taught how to transform our health to be healthy. Because if we were, it wouldn't be millions of women dealing with the same issue and all of us sitting here dealing with the same issue, and yet we're following the same regimen and we're questioning why it's not working. We're being told to take birth control to balance our hormones. We're being told to insert something inside of our body. We're being told to get hysterectomies. We're told to take a supplement or just take a pain pill and you're managing and you'll be fine. We're told that PMSing is normal. I had a young lady who came in here and said that her doctor told her menstruating for a whole entire year was normal. These are the doctors that are telling you that all of these habits are okay. That these are the way that for you to be able to be healed and be healthy. We're raising each generation next to the next, to the ones that are here, that of women that don't know how to take care of their body. We're raising a generation of women who think that there's something wrong with our body, that we think that our cycle is a punishment. When in reality, the only reason why your cycle is a punishment is because you didn't take care of your body throughout the month. So now your body is punishing you. Because the key factor is that your body would be punishing you if you were taking care of it and syncing with your cycle. And how I know this is because I went from not syncing with my cycle, not understanding the phases of my cycle, to understanding the phases of my cycle, syncing with my hormones, and actually balancing my hormones through food. I didn't use a supplement. I didn't have a surgery. I took birth control for a year, and I never took birth control after that because I thought that this was a way for to balance my hormones. It threw off my hormones completely. I realized the power in food by cutting out all those terrible toxic foods, but I did it by winging myself off and realizing, yes, I'm in a systematic program that has trained me to subconsciously think there is no other way that I'm going to be able to eat, be full, enjoy my life without having these foods, because that's subconsciously trained into you. But when you get out of that subconscious state by consciously choosing to change, you'll realize very quickly the parasites speak really loud. They speak really loud. And how you know they speak really loud? Try to go without sugar for at least 3 to 4 days. No sugar, no drinks, no snacks. They speak real loud. Because the parasites do control your cravings. And if you don't believe that you have parasites, if you eat meats, if you consume anything dead in general, if you consume dairy, you have parasites. If you eat sushi, you have parasites. Any meat in general has parasites because it's a literal living thing going to unalive it. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. So you have to get away from this crisis that we are in by subconsciously training yourself new habits, because consciously you have to choose it. There's a difference between, oh, I don't want to do it today, but I'm going to do it because I choose it. It's the same mentality of if you want to look good and have the fattest behind in the gym, you have to choose it. You might not want it today. I might want ribs tomorrow. But guess what? I'm not going to go in the fridge and be like, oh, there's some meat here and go get some ribs. I'm going to be like, okay, how do I make ribs in a plant-based form that are not going to make me inflammatory that I can enjoy? Because that's the key. You can still eat the foods that you love and not have to suffer, not have to poison yourself. It's the matter of understanding how to make them in a non-inflammatory way. Because I can say, from somebody who used to love ribs, I was a meat eater, okay? Chicken, ribs, steak, all of it. I don't miss any of it living a plant based lifestyle. And I'm not saying you have to cut everything out today and just completely switch your whole entire life. But this is what I teach in my program, how to slowly wean yourself off. Because I did it for myself. It took less than 3 weeks for me to see the change that my body could do. And in that program, I work with you for 6 whole weeks. In that program, I teach you how to live a plant-based lifestyle, from cooking your own plant-based meals to teaching you how to make your own non-toxic products. So your toothpaste, your mouthwash, your body wash, you making laundry detergent, you making cleaning supplies. Learning how to make your own non-toxic medicine, because people have children. People work with children. I used to work with children. I had medicine on deck that was non-toxic, not from pharmaceutical companies, but actually made in a home that's natural, that supported me during the time of 2020 and so on. Because I worked with kids for 5 whole years, over 5 years, okay? And that's in a professional setting. It's not even included the non-professional setting. I worked during 2020 with kids. I didn't worry about having to go get a hokey pokey. I didn't have to worry about getting sick. And the reason why is, the only time that illness and disease can thrive in your space is when you have something for it to feed off of. I didn't have anything for it to feed off of. So every single time they said, oh, I came in contact with that word that happened in 2020 that I can't say on here because they'll censor my life. When that happened in 2020, every time I came in contact with it and I came back positive, I came back negative and I never got a positive, and everybody's wondering, what did I do? How did I avoid it? They're sitting there questioning. They're like, well, you're just avoiding it. No, I'm not avoiding it. It can't live in my body because I have nothing for it to feed off of. All of these people who got the hokey pokey, all the people who were following the system, they're getting sick. They're having issues. They're having the flu and everything else. And they're sitting there running back and forth and they're asking me what I did. And I'm telling them, it's the foods that you eat. But as soon as you say it's the foods that you eat, well, I drink water and I do keto and I do paleo, or, oh, I just don't like eating these. Okay, that's you. You asked for the solution. I gave you the answer. If you want the solution, you're going to go get it. If you don't want the solution, you're going to keep doing what you're doing, but you're going to keep going down the same path of being sick. You're going to go down the same path of having cancer. You're going to go down the same path of developing diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure. IBS is running rampant through our society for a reason, because they feed us a whole bunch of gluten and filled foods, and gluten puts holes in your stomach. When you have a leaky gut, you do realize that your gut in science is nicknamed your second brain. So when your gut is off, you are going to have anxiety, you're going to have depression, you're going to have panic attacks, you're going to have mood swings that you can't explain. Because literally, toxins are leaking to your bloodstream. You have a leaky gut. It's leaking to other organs it should not be touching. Your pH is not where it needs to be. And so that's also spewing throughout your body. That's what a leaky gut does to you. And it throws off your brain so much that now you're having a hormonal imbalance. Now you're dealing with PMS. This is a full cycle of you not making the connection of how your body is speaking to you, and it's been speaking to you for years. How are you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. So when you realize and you put 2 and 2 together of these connections, that you have been programmed into a system that has taught us from a very, very young age, from the time that we started consuming, to be toxic with our habits, to sit here and throw off our insulin, and then sell us a solution. You realize it's not too late for you to start healing, because it's never too late. You can literally have stage 4 cancer and get yourself right. And how I know is there's evidence. Literally, all you have to do is scroll through Facebook. People love to talk about their business on Facebook, and I'm not a big fan of Facebook, okay? But I am on Facebook just for the people who are on Facebook. I don't really post much there, every now and then. But I want y'all to understand the fact that there are people, and there are so many testimonies that I have seen that people talk about. They went to a plant-based lifestyle. They ate fruits for a month. They ate the fruits and vegetables for a month or 2. They completely reset their body, and they healed without chemo, without radiation, without a surgery. They healed tumors. How they were able to get rid of these issues was allowing their body to stop using that energy to digest every single day, and to use the energy to flush and to reset and to rebalance. Because that's the key. You're either digesting and converting energy to digest, or you're converting that energy to reset, to balance, to heal. This is where society is right now. Digestion, energy digestion, over consuming, toxins. This is where you need to be. The flow. You need to be flowing. There needs to be, okay, energy is converting into flow. Now you're flowing into your hormones. Now it's flowing into your other organs. But a lot of y'all are just sitting here holding on, stuck. And this is a block. And the reason why you're so blocked is because you don't see the crisis that you were in. And how I know it's a crisis, and they even said it's a crisis, is they said it out loud, and they said that diabetes is a crisis that they're going to have to tackle in their homes. They cannot force you to stop consuming the terrible toxic sugars that are making you diabetic. Stop consuming the terrible toxic foods that are making you diabetic. It starts in the home. And this was the American diabetes people. I don't know if I can say the whole thing, so I'm just going to say that. These are the diabetes people. They even said it. They cannot help you unless you want to help yourself. And that's how they view all of your health issues. Are you going to help yourself? Because if you're not going to help yourself, who can help you? If you don't view your own body as a temple, who's going to view you as a temple? Who's going to help you be able to help yourself? So if you are ready to stop healing, stop managing, but actually heal, stop being a part of this crisis and being in this box of what is deemed as normal and in this programming society, and you're tired of managing, but you were rather helping your body heal and rebalance and get rid of the blocks, and you are ready to see the benefits of how your body actually adds onto your life with your cycle and syncing with your cycle and seeing how it gives back to you. But when you take care of your body, you're going to feel good during this time. You're actually going to feel refreshed after it's over and not feel like something has hit you like a truck and now you're having to regain all your balance and get your life together. Like I said, that Balanced Body program, we are starting June 1st. I was about to say January 1st. June 1st. June 1st, that program that I mentioned is a full 6-week program that is going to submerge you into all the plant-based lifestyle that you need, and by the end, to be able to sustain it. Because the key is that you learn these habits, gain the knowledge, get rid of your toxic, terrible habits that you have currently right now, and then get to the space of sustaining the ones that actually help you heal and support you without supplements, without you having to take a tincture every single day, because you first start with food. Now, if you need something else later on because you're like, okay, well, I might not be getting enough of this, or I know that I've been going out of town a lot lately, or I travel a lot, so I want to be able to make sure that I have my energy, or I make sure that I'm getting enough B12, then you can add in these different things of herbs. Then you can add in these different things to help you balance. But first, it starts with food. And that's where we start in the beginning of that program, is food. We break down understanding how food is medicine. We start learning how to sync with your cycle and the phases of your cycle, what you need to eat during that time. And then we go into, okay, this is how you make your non-toxic products, so we can get rid of those so that your healing for your hormones start balancing completely and not just one aspect, because your products also make you toxic and throw off your hormones. Those are called neurotoxins or hormone disruptors. And then once you get rid of all of those terrible toxic products, then we'll start talking about natural medicines for if you do feel like you have a sniffle or a cough, or understanding how you use certain things like oil of oregano. So before I hop off, what questions do you guys have for me? If you have any questions about the program, or you want me to directly send you a link for that program, it is linked to my bio, or you can DM me program. I will send it to you. The program is called goodness, hold on, I don't want to get it the wrong one, because I was about to call it the Bloom and Thrive, the Balanced Body program. I can't think of what it is because it's not the Bloom and Thrive anymore. We are done with the Bloom and Thrive. We are now on to the Balanced Body program that is starting June 1st. I keep wanting to say January. June 1st. What questions do you guys have for me? And if not, I'm going to hop off and enjoy the rest of my Sunday. This is a quick little live. I feel like our last 2 lives have been pretty quick. But if you are on YouTube watching this later on, I will be posting this on YouTube if you have not subbed. And if you have not subscribed and you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe, like the video. But if you guys don't have any questions, I'm going to hop off. I'll answer a few if you have them. But I hope that I answered everything thoroughly and well. If you want to know more about the program, please shoot away. If you want to know more about insulin, hormonal imbalances, insulin resistance, using food as your medicine, what questions do you have? Anything on the mind, on the brain? I think we need to do another Q&A soon. I haven't done a Q&A. I feel like it's been at least a month. I used to do them at least once a month, but I feel like we haven't done a Q&A in a minute, so I guess we need to do another Q&A. And thank you guys for all the likes. I thank you for all the follows. I appreciate you guys. Okay, well, I'm not seeing any questions, so I guess I've answered them thoroughly. I hope you guys have an amazing start to your week. Happy Sunday. I won't be back live tomorrow, probably Tuesday. I don't think I'll be back live again tomorrow. But I will see you soon if the Most High allows. I hope that you have a blessed rest of your day. Um, I hope this message has impacted you positively. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.